Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome one and all to the Friday Flashback session today. So, as you can imagine, it's probably not going to be a very long session this morning. I will be, of course, back on this afternoon to cover the full scope of the US indices and provide a written breakdown for those at around 1 o'clock. So please stay tuned for that one. Yeah, it's been a relatively slow week. We got some pretty decent volume coming through on our US indices yesterday, but with regards to the markets in general this week, it's been very, very quiet. We had the big explosive move at the beginning of the week with what the White House administration had come out and said, especially with Trump, obviously, and the Middle East situation. And then from that point on, it's just been a really exhaustive kind of process where the markets are just they're just kind of taking a huge breath before the next wave of escalations sort of come into play or not. So we're just going to have to keep our ears to the ground on that situation as we do here on a daily basis, and yeah, see how it all plays out. In terms of yesterday's performance, like I said, the US indices did actually provide some pretty decent stuff. So, for example, the US 30 Dow Jones here had this really nice move up. Um, yeah, it was all really good, to be honest. We came down into liquidity. We did get the initial big breakout. The 130 candle was here. This one took place so quickly. We had to wait. We didn't really have a choice in the matter. But luckily, it did come back down. It did retest this anchor point here. We got the breaker structure there, and it was just a really clean move. The spreads were really nice and tight, and everything about it was just really good. We had this crazy end of US session rollover move as well at the end, which was quite strange. I wasn't actually at the charts at the time, but just on reviewing, it's kind of hit them all. There it is on the NAS 100. This is the NAS 100 trade. Now, this is an unfortunate thing, really, because literally an hour later, the thing moved perfectly down into liquidity, just as we expected. So the call was right. Unfortunately, the timing was wrong on that NAS 100 trade, but that's ultimately where we're at with that one. Looking at further opportunities that we've had some pretty decent momentum to and froing in natural gas. We unfortunately have not seen our target profit achieved this week, but I'm happy at the moment how far we have come. So I'm not really too worried about getting rid of this one before the weekend at this moment in time. I will update you all further on that position if it does, if ultimately we do, we should be out of it. I think it's safe to say that if we're trading anywhere upwards of, I'll tell you what, we'll mark this out. We're trading anywhere upwards of this level in here, then we're safe. If we're trading below it, then probably time to get out because the gap's going to be pretty big. So yeah, anywhere upwards of sort of 294, let's say. I think we're going to be absolutely okay in that natural gas trade. Looking at UK Brent, there was a bit of a disappointing one this week. Not because of the move. We did have a really nice move, and that was this one in here. But we did not meet my criteria in order to get in this one. The market has continued rallying. We have got a break close and a retest of liquidity above price. So it does look as though we are going to see that continuation up to around 113 and or maybe even beyond, to be honest, maybe back up to 118, 119 possibly. But it does look like it's going to go there. So all going to plan. It's just unfortunately we couldn't get on that last wave. I'm hoping next week we get fresh opportunity for a breaker structure above this area in here, and then we can look to clear the void back up to that 114, 115 area really nicely. Gold never triggered. We did have a gold long opportunity somewhere around here, I'm sure. Odd that it's just completely disappeared now. But we did, and it just never triggered. The market just, yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't get there. But that's all right. It is what it is. And that's about it, isn't it? That's about it. We didn't do anything in the FX space all week, and I think that's a good thing. Yeah, we had a couple of runners, but you would have had to have had the crystal ball out in order to anticipate when they were going to take place. I mean, a lot of the week has just been this kind of stuff of not really making any progress anywhere, apart from the USD Swiss. USD Swiss has actually been okay this week, very slow, but it's still at least trended in a direction. All right, team. Let's not waste any time then. Let's get up to our European indices. Let's see what we're looking at this morning. So, with the DAX this morning, potential for some equal high, equal low trading, some range trading. You've got the highs there, you've got the lows down here. It's a nice little trading margin for a 1 minute time frame. You've also got some structure, which is down there. I can't believe this hasn't been broken yet this week. Crazy how slow things are. I'd probably not even look at that. I'd just trade between these two margins. Great news for us. We're right slap bang in the middle of it. You've got breaker structure. Actually, no, I'm going to retract that statement. Probably, I think the aggression is going to be better than pacifism on this one. So we're going to look for the aggressive entry there via that breaker structure. And I think the long breaker structure is going to be about here. And then we'll be looking to trade the margins between. So then we've got the potential for a short, which is about there for a 1 to 3. And we've got the exact same for a long on the other side of it, which is definitely going to be about 1 to 3. Yeah, as long as I can get those lows inside the stop, I'm happy. So yeah, that's how we're gonna attack the Dow. The DAX today. Either we get the short into liquidity and we get the buyback for the long, or we get the push up into liquidity and we get the buyback for we get the sell off for the short. Next up, let's have a look at UK FTSE. Okay, 15-minute time frame. We got the high up there. We got the low. That's too much of a big margin, so I'm going to probably use these to split the margins up into two sections. So we got high, we got low. 1 minute time frame. Perfect breaker structure point. That's for your long. Something like this. Good structure. Highs and lows all along the way. For your short, again, a little bit of a disappointing placement for price action running into the session. But I'd probably take a chance on something like this. It's not perfect, is it? Not by any stretch, but it's good enough. So maybe a touch lower, yeah, just like that. So then what we're going to look at is the push into liquidity and the rejection for the short. Now, just for the record, we are at 22 minutes past 7. We do have enough time, I think, for the market to come into these areas before we get the run. Hopefully. Okay, so I'll download that one. And that's about it, ladies and gents. That is about it. So, in reflection, incredibly quiet week this week. Markets have been exhausted after Trump's relentless toing and froing and insider trading. We have European indices at the moment, which are all set up for you. It's been a quiet week in terms of net gains and trading opportunities, but we have gained. That's the good thing. I mean, we've done over 1% this week, which is absolutely fine in quiet times. I'm not going to turn my nose up at that at all. Looking ahead to next week, we have the non-farm payrolls. I thought we had something else. Just bear with. I'm sure we had something else. Maybe we don't. We've got EIA, don't we? We've got energy data out, and then it's the full batch of employment data. Okay, so next week, Monday through Thursday, it's going to be relatively quiet. Thursday, we've got energy data. But we are looking ahead to the end of the week on Friday, which is where we're going to get the full the full rack of US employment data. So that's really what we're going to be holding our breath for. Obviously, I'll dig into the numbers then, and we'll do a live NFP trading session as we usually do. But that's going to be a big event on Friday afternoon. On top of that, don't forget that we do have the session 5, I believe, in the equities masterclass next week, which I'm really looking forward to doing on Wednesday morning. So a couple of bits and pieces there to keep us through, and hopefully we'll see a little bit of an improvement on price. Hopefully so. So listen, guys, that's going to be it from me this morning. Hopefully you guys all have a good trading day today. If I don't catch up with any of you for whatever reason before the weekend comes, then have a great couple of days away, and I look forward to catching you all next week. If not, then I will catch up with you this afternoon for the US Open. So I'll see you then. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.